Everybody can hear me in the back. Is that good? Yes. Okay.
We have Blue, Chris, Carol, and who's right here.
Entender. 2 segundos.
Tá certo, né? Bom dia, Lu, Cris, Carol, André, tudo bem? Estão aqui com a gente.
Bom dia, tô chegando, tá?
Tá bom, Lu. Vê a tela? Que a gente está compartilhando?
Tô vendo.
Tá, perfeito, obrigada. Tudo bem?
Everybody's so quiet today.
Mandei.
Talking. Você ligou bem ali? Vou colocar bem no Fiber ali, porque daí agora.
Qualquer coisa que a gente manda.
Exatamente. Deve ter ali.
Se eu tiver desconto na taxa da noite,
Pode ficar em surso. Ou você sai todo.
até que tá.
Ana, senta aí. Thank you. Eu vou puxar um pouquinho mais para trás, se já você. Bom, né? Ok. Acho que põe em português, então. Daí eu vou falar em inglês. Só para eu não esquecer nada.
What's cooking?
Vamos ver o que o Galvão está escutando.
Nós estamos falando de uma área do lado do restaurante, você conhece?
Where listen to him. His phone was connected to the speaker, that's why.
Ainda bem que não tava. Deixa pra lá.
Já senta.
Okay, it's me now. Good. So I don't hear anymore about whatever he was listening to. Okay, guys, we need to do this one in English because we have new people in the house today. We have Stephanie that joined us. She's right here. She's from Beijing, right? You were born in Beijing, China. Okay, so she's from China, so she speaks Mandarin and English. And also have all the back. He joined us Friday, so he's here for the first time and joining us. So welcome for the first time here. Hope you guys gonna have a lot of fun. And any questions on here? Just waiting for Abby to start. So we did a presentation in Portuguese because I'm not sure, we weren't sure if that's gonna be here or not today, or then I'm gonna do a simple one for you, but since everybody's here, I'm gonna do everything in English. Is that okay? Everybody? Okay, good. All right. Thank you. Good evening.
Oh, hi.
Okay. Well done.
No.
Okay, we're gonna start anyway. When she's done, we use whatever she's gonna do. So the idea of this class today, is to give you guys an idea how to do the same things. I like to teach you guys first. It's not exact science, so there's no system that's gonna do that for you. Not yet. Maybe AI in the future is gonna be more predictive and it's gonna give right numbers, but right now, any system you guys are gonna use, they are not 100% correct. I'm gonna show you this, show you guys. So I want everybody to learn how to do it and not keep using Zillow or the RPR or whatever the CMA is going to use the automatic because all of them, they do different numbers. So you need to learn how to do it by yourself first. Then you can use the systems to validate. But many people didn't feel more comfortable doing that because, oh, I use RPR once and it worked. They're gonna use the RPR again, oh, you worked. For the third time, it's gonna work too. So everybody started using the RPR forever. But it changed a lot. Like in my house, where I live in Millennium Park, and I have the biggest house with the better lots, with a nice pool, a summer kitchen, and my neighbor is selling their house for 750,000. They have a pool. They don't have anything else. He says 750, 756 actually. My house shows 600. And my lot is bigger, with a better view. That's why I cannot keep using RPR all the time. Okay, and you need to learn how to adjust and everything. So that's the idea. They're gonna teach you how to do it. Let's go to the next step. All right, so the difference between the CMA and the formal appraisal. We are not appraisers, so we don't need to get the right number. Okay, appraisers, they do a different way, and they calculate how the price of the property is valued today. But it doesn't mean it's valid today, it's gonna be the right price to sell the property. Example, the market's changing. So they can value your house value for $800,000. Gonna sell for 100? No. But the appraisal says 800. So the right price is the price that sells. It's not the price that comes in appraisal. Okay? So on the CMA, we can work with that a little better because they're gonna tell the client how much the house is gonna sell on this market. It doesn't matter if the appraisal says that amount. When the market's hot, it could come $800,000, but it can sell for $1 million. But the appraisal says 100, but I have people who's gonna pay for $1 million. They were gonna pay different in cash. That's what happened during the pandemic. So appraisal is one thing, CMA is another. And it's not, both of them is an art. It's not something that's gonna be precise. So don't try to guess the right number all the time. Okay? So our job is to try to get the best price possible to sell the house the fastest way for the better price always. That's our job with the CMA. All right? But I don't know if I do a CMA, it comes lower. Let's say it's 800,000. That's the right appraisal for his house and the price looks right for the market. But my calculation showing 780. If you do 780, you're probably gonna get more offers. And sometimes you're gonna sell for higher than 800. Oh, but the client wants 850. That really depends on the market. If the market's low and it's going to balance to buyer's market, it's gonna take longer to sell. That's why every time I teach to do CMA for you guys is to do 3 different numbers. The lower, the medium, and the higher, okay? When you're gonna use the low? When you're going to buyer's market. The stronger the buyer's market is gonna be, the lower is gonna be the number. Why is that, Alan? Cannot sell the house for the middle price? You can, but it's gonna sit on the market even longer. So that's why we don't look for the middle price, okay? When you're gonna use the higher price? When the market is really hot. Then you can go to the higher, or even more, but that's rare. So most of the time, you're gonna be in the middle, so a little bit high, a little bit lower. But if the market is gonna keep going, let's say it's dropping like 0.5% every month. Not all areas, some areas are, some areas are not dropping, it's just, it's balanced right now. But if it's going lower, you need to go to a lower number. Otherwise, it's gonna sit longer in the market. Now, if the price is right, it's taking about 60 to 90 days, most of the areas. Some areas sells faster, of course. Like College Park, when the price is right. If you have a nice house in Winter Park, with a nice location, it's gonna sell better. When I tell something about pricing, it's gonna be in general. It's not gonna be specific to one area, okay? And every time you guys have a question, I always help you to do the CMA and everything else. You can learn how to do it and validate the number with us. One thing that I don't do is I'm not gonna do your job. So if you come to me, Alan, I got this house, can you tell me how much I can sell for? No, first you're gonna try to do it, then we validate numbers with you, right? Okay, now we're back in Portugal. Right, so why it's so important to try to get the right number? I mean, close to the right number. Because first you need to talk with the seller and you have to show him how much the house is gonna sell for X amount of time. So we have a seller, let's say, no, I want to sell for $50,000 more. Then you have to ask him, you like to sell your house now, or just playing with the market? That's the point. You have to be straightforward. Don't keep saying yes all the time to the client. Otherwise, they're gonna put whatever price you're gonna do, you're gonna sit on the market forever, and they're gonna blame you again. It's gonna take 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, the house is not gonna sell, that's gonna be your fault. And nobody told you it was overpriced, nobody will accept the price. So I told you I want $100,000 more, you said yes. So be careful with that. Every time you talk with the seller, you have to show him why is that. And I have to understand the same, especially foreign nationals in different countries like Brazil, I'm not sure about China. But they tend to, oh, just put your property in the market. If it sells, it sells. If it doesn't sell, they make an offer. So they don't care. They just sit in the market. But here in the United States, it's really bad. So every time you have a house that's sitting in the market, let's say it's 21 days. That's the number I use. 21 days, no showings, nothing. You need to drop the price of the house or the lot. It works a lot with lots. Oh, we're also going to do a class for us in the tax deeds. Oh, really good in doing that for many, many years. So if you get stuck, you need to drop the price. You cannot keep the price that high, otherwise it's not gonna sell, it's gonna take forever. So how are you gonna talk with that with the seller all the time? I have to explain how the market's going. Because the longer it sits on the market, the more it's gonna cost in property taxes, it's gonna cost HOA. The house is gonna be probably vacant, it needs to pay for utility bills, so he needs to understand it and factor all this. But sometimes we forget about that, so you guys need to tell them. They need to make it happen, so they can drop the price and sell the house. So the idea is to show the client every time that he needs to come with the right price, whereas I tell him. It's gonna work 100% of the time? No, but it's gonna work 90% of the time. Then you sell the house. If you come lower, don't worry about that. It's gonna sell the same way, and you're probably gonna get multiple offers. The higher you go on the number, it's gonna take longer in the market to sell, and you're gonna get fewer offers. Probably gonna get one offer if you get one. Okay, this is really important. Another thing about appraisals. Every time you're gonna do a CMA, appraisal they do cost approach most of the time. But us, we need to try to find the same kind of property in the same location. That's the best option for us to do. Because the further we go, and different properties gonna get more complicated. Like I have a question for you guys. We have two properties. One says 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and it has 3,000 square feet. Then I have a second property, 4 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, 2 bedroom, 2 bed, and one is listed for $800,000. How much you think if I add 1 bedroom, how much is gonna be the second property? You guys have any idea about that? One for $800,000, 3 bedrooms, 3,000 square feet. Another one, exactly the same square feet, but it's 4 bedrooms. How much is gonna think it's gonna be? It's gonna be more or less? That depends.
Depends.
That depends. If I do a test, let me show you this. Sometimes they drop $30,000 on the property because we add another bedroom. And why is that? Because it's the same square footage. So the 3 bedrooms has more area, has more living room space, has more bathroom space, has more closet space. If you add a 4 bedroom, it's gonna drop all of those. So it's not attractive, so we're gonna work less. Let's see, sketch, right? Everybody thinks, oh, if I had a bedroom, it's gonna work more. No. A bathroom, yes, a bedroom, no. Okay? I'm gonna show that for you guys later. Yeah. Okay, every time I do a CMA for a client, you have to print something because they like to see it. So I have to do like a small graphic. You can use the MLS to do it. It's really easy to do. You can use the RPR if the RPR is correct. There's no worry about that. But always bring something that's gonna show the numbers. Okay, don't go to the client and start talking and say, hey, listen, how's gonna work this or how's gonna work that. You need something to show. They like to see in paper. Okay, because you're talking, you're gonna validate, but they need to see with their eyes what you're talking about. Another thing that I teach you guys is about pricing. So on the price, when you put, let's say the house is listed for $552,000. Oh, my client said it's okay to drop the price down in 21 days. He said 550. There's no difference. $2,000 not gonna do anything. So it's very important. So every time you're gonna drop the price, you should drop the second digit. So it's gonna look much stronger. So if it's listed for 552, try to drop to 549. Okay, dropping $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, if the second issue doesn't change, it doesn't make any difference. Because nobody's gonna care, because everybody's gonna look for a house, they look, oh, how much is that house? Oh, it's listed for 550 something. So if you say 559, 557, 552, it's the same thing. We don't care about it. Okay, but when you say, oh no, they dropped the price now, it's 5.4 something. Ah, no, now it's much better. Gonna drop $2,000. But sounds better. Okay, it's very important to do. Another thing that you guys can do too, in the systems, there is one app that I use when I list a house. I think it's Eastern View, if I'm mistaken. You can add the seller's email and select to send him a report every Monday. So he's gonna see the traffic. Why do I do that? Because many sellers, they do think my house is the best house. My house worth more money than anybody else. I do it for myself. Every homeowner, they think like that. So it's important for you to send that because you're gonna see, oh, the first week I got like 100 hits on Zillow. Now it dropped to 3. What means price is wrong. So that's gonna help you guys to convince them to drop the price. Right? That's why I use that. So when you sell the house, the system disengages by itself, but you have to add manually. It's super easy to do. You select the report once a week. It has an option for every day, but it's too much, right? All right, yeah, another thing, location. Like, if you're gonna do like a CMA in a house in Winter Park, Collins Park, Lake it's not the same thing you like to do in Pine Hills, right? You need to, you guys cannot compare 3 bedrooms in Pine Hills with one in Lake County. I see that happens once in a while, but in most of that we see is, I talked with you guys, did you do a comparable, did you find the properties? I did, Alan, I did. This is a 4-bedroom, I found 5 6-bedrooms and 2 5-bedrooms, then I use those. You can't. You cannot mix properties. If you mix properties, you need to adjust. So avoid doing adjustment, try to find something similar because it's much easier to do. Hello, good morning. Well, so very careful with that. Even if it's just 1 bedroom, unless it's the same square footage, it's exactly the same, like exactly I gave you guys now, a 3-bedroom with a 4-bedroom with the same square footage. If you take 1 bedroom out, the price is gonna go up. If you put 1 bedroom, most of the time it's gonna go down. So in that case, you can do. Okay, square footage is fine, but bedrooms, no. I found a 3,000 square feet for bedrooms, then I found another one that's 5,000 square feet with 3 bedrooms. It's much bigger than you need to adjust. Okay? My idea is not for you guys to keep adjusting because get really confused. If you need to do and need help, then let me know. Okay? CMAs, you need practice. It takes longer to learn. It's not, like I said, it's not a computer-based thing. You just put information, it's gonna give you the right answer. It changes. Even when an AI comes available for that, the AI doesn't know if you did an upgrade in the kitchen. It doesn't know if you replace the flooring. There are many things AI won't do. So it's still gonna need us to go inside and take a look. Another thing about appraisals too. Let's say we have 300 homes in a community. And 2 of them have pool. One spent $100,000, another one spent $30,000, and the neighbor decided to do a $50,000. So the guy who put a pool for $100,000, does the property go for $100,000 more?
Yeah.
So you guys know that, right? Okay, good. And the guy who put it for $30,000, gonna go up, it's gonna go down, it's gonna be in the middle.
The guy put the 30 up for me is the same. Is the difference? A little bit, but it's not.
It's
the
a-
question?
the same.
What's the question again, Alan? Sorry.
If we have one house that the guy spent $100,000 to put a pool, there's another neighbor who spent $30,000 to put a pool, and there's the third neighbor who's gonna do a $50,000 pool. The $100,000 pool is gonna work more or less?
Yes.
Less. The guy who put the $50,000 pool,
The same.
and the guy who put the $30,000 pool. More. Exactly.
Comes down to the values in the middle, right?
Correct. So the guy who put more money towards the house is the one gonna lose more. It's like buying a car and put a very nice steering inside. You spend $20,000 for a 9.0 with MP3. Long time ago with CD player, right? With a nice woofer, with speakers, with everything's connected, satellite and everything, but it's a really cheap car. When you're gonna sell, they're not gonna pay the $20,000 to buy the car. House is pretty much the same thing, unless we increase the square footage of the house. That's gonna make the house worth more. But most of the homes we sell inside communities, we cannot build bigger home. They're not gonna allow. So the client needs to be very careful when they do upgrades. So I see people like in communities that are like low income, they spending $200,000 to do a remodel. They're never gonna get them back. Okay. So like they spend like $80,000 in a kitchen. In a house they're worth like 200,000. They think it's gonna worth 300,000. They're not gonna get the money back. So when they sell, they think they will. Yes.
So I have a situation where the houses in that neighborhood, they have been built 2008 mostly.
Mm-hmm.
So we are developing some houses there now, 2025,
Mhm.
up to code. The ones built in 2008, they're not up to code.
Mm-hmm.
But there has not been any selling activity, so we don't have comparable
Mm-hmm.
there. How do we adjust in this case? So we have an age problem, we have code problem, and they no
So
comparable.
you'll build a new homes, right? And
Yes.
everything else is old.
Yes.
It's like buying a new car. You can't compare old with new. Right? You can go to buy a Ferrari. Because it looks
But
like
that's
fun.
what the appraisers are gonna do, right?
They're gonna do a cost approach, how to build a new house, yes, but you have to go for the market. That's the thing about, that's how builders create value inside the communities, because they're gonna build brand new. So they have a different start point from the everybody, that's a good question actually, because everybody thinks, oh, my house I was built in 1980. But there's brand new community next door. They're gonna do like similar homes, but they're 2025. And they're selling for $1.5 million. So my house is gonna worth $1.5 million. No. Okay, because they have to adjust for the age of the house. So no, so when it's brand new, the method gonna use for the appraisals, that's why condos have a lot of issues with that, because condos need to sell at least, I think it's 35% of the condo before they can get financing, because they need to prove the price is right, otherwise the bank won't do it. Homes are similar, but are much easier to do because they can adjust the price for the market. How are we gonna compare them? You have to find something close enough, similar enough, on the same income from the area to get the price for when it's brand new home. That happens once or twice a year. I have an agent who comes to me and asks, especially in the new areas like St. Cloud. Claremont now is easier because there's a lot of things building there. But St. Cloud was a problem in the beginning because everything was really old. Then they start building new homes. And how are you going to do evaluation with that? Another thing, when they're still building, it's a builder, you're going to compete with the builder. So you can't try to push the price higher than the builder because they're not going to sell, especially now in this market. You got a lot of incentives. But when the market is really high, then you can do that because they don't have anything to deliver. So, okay, if you buy for the builder, it's going to take $1.5 million. I have a house right now. So it really depends on the location as well. So real estate, everybody knows we cannot move the location. We cannot move the house. So we can compare like a house here and a house in New York. So the same thing with the community. If it's St. Cloud, St. Cloud. If it's Ocala, it's Ocala. If it's Orlando, it's Orlando. But then I have to go around and see whatever is similar. Always try to do a CMA, like I try to do like half a mile first, because the closest to the subject property, the better the valuation is going to be. If you go 1 mile, 2 miles, 5 miles, 10 miles, 10 miles a lot. In commercial, that's easy to do. Sometimes they do 50 miles in commercial. This building, they did 15 miles to find it when I bought it. They couldn't find comparables. But commercial is different. Okay? It's similar idea, but it's a different way, it's a different approach. But for residential, always try to find within half a mile to 2 miles. Okay? Most of the time it's gonna work. If it doesn't, try to do your best. When I have questions, let me know. Model, you always do.
Half mile to 2 miles.
Yeah.
Max.
And always try to do inside the same community. The system is always gonna give you 3 months to 6 months. Oh, that's a good question. Thanks for reminding that. So time when you do that. When the market is really, really, really hot, it's 30 to 60 days back in time. Okay? When the market is really, really, really slow, it's 6 months. Right? If you're doing marketing when it's really hot, 6 months, the valuation is gonna come wrong. Because the price of the house changed within 6 months a lot. So your median price is gonna come lower. Okay, but not the case now, so don't worry about that one. When it comes again, like in a few years, then we do that. Right, so what I do, every time I'm gonna do the comps, always adjust the comps, never the subject, you know that, right? From core law, you guys remember that, everybody knows, right? Okay, never adjust the house you're gonna sell, always adjust the comps. If you adjust the subject, it's gonna mess with that. All right, so what do you need to do? First, you need to find whatever was sold within the 6 months, similar to the house you're trying to list. Then after I have the average, you're gonna see how many homes similar are for sale. Then after that, you're gonna try to find for how long they're sitting in the market. Okay, why is that? It's house for $100,000. Okay, that's the right number. Then you go and see active for $800,000. Oh, I found the price. Exactly the same thing. I'm great. I'm so good at this. Then you see it's like 300 days seen in the market. Who's gonna sell for 100? No. But how are you gonna convince the clients? Oh, but it has another 3 properties for the same price. Why mine doesn't work like that? Because these are sitting for a year and a half. My idea is to sell the house as fast as possible for the best price. Remember, the price it sells is not the price that you want, it's the price that the market can absorb, right? That's very important to follow. After you do that, you can compare with the automated systems, the RPR, the co-op, even the IMAP. So I like the IMAP a lot because most of the time this one is right, but I got it wrong a couple times. Okay, if they all three are totally different from your number, you need to review the number. At least you need to at least you need to find the one that will match. Like I said, it's a lot of fun. So you need to find at least one is gonna match. All right, you're gonna see most of the time at least one is gonna match. Okay, then after you finish everything, you have the right number, then you're gonna check Zillow. And why check Zillow? If I tell you guys Zillow sucks all the time.
Because the client.
Because the client's gonna check Zillow. You need to be prepared to answer the question. If it comes lower, yay! You say 700,000 for this house, but say 800 your house is worth 100,000. I was amazing when my son Zillow 700. Yeah, that was wrong. But what's gonna happen is gonna be the opposite. For 700,000, Zillow says 100. No one, Zillow says 100. What are you gonna say?
Zillow is right.
You have to prove why it's not. Then different tools you guys can use. You can say, you know that Zillow, the guy who was owner of Zillow and everything, he did evaluation using Zillow. It was totally off. It was totally wrong. Do you know that Zillow lost like I think $40 million because they used evaluation to buy properties to flip? The system was so off, they lost a lot of money. They lost millions. They almost went broke. Do you know that? Then that's why you prove that Zillow is not good. Okay.
You have to prove that.
Yeah, and even if you can show to him, you get the same house in the same community, use Zillow for all 3 properties, you're gonna find similar to his. The price is gonna be all over. It's not gonna be the same. It should be the same. It's the same house, right? Same number of bedrooms, same number of bathrooms, same square footage, with or without a pool, whatever. You're gonna see the number's not gonna match. Right? So that Zillow is way off, but people think Zillow is amazing. Yes, sir.
How much square footage difference do you recommend?
10%.
10%?
Oh, yeah, he's asking about if I find a house for 3,000, the next house is 3,300. 10% is okay for you to adjust a little bit. Appraisers, they don't do that. They will adjust. But we can use 10% because our price is gonna be around that. So how we're gonna find out that? We're gonna see comparables that sold. We're gonna say, then you have to judge a little bit. Use your judgment. How do I learn judgment now? Buy and sell. You need to learn the market. Okay, so you're gonna learn that a house in Whiteworth, a 5 bedroom is gonna worth $1.5 million. But if you take the house outside Whiteworth and put in the middle of, I don't know, Under Street, gonna worth what, 550? The same house. So you need to learn the market. You need to learn, well, there's something wrong with this price. I found 700 for his house, but everything is selling for 620. There's something weird. And you need to adjust. Use common sense, right? Always use common sense. for the area. And the more you get in the market, the more you're gonna learn, right? Okay, I think we did everything here. Oh yeah, of course. Another thing that when you do a CMA without seeing the property, when you get there, the kitchen's falling apart, the carpet's bad. Because when you do a CMA from a computer, the computer and ourselves will think the house is in perfect condition. So I have to be careful with that. So if you see like a 20 years old house and the majority of them already replaced the roof, okay, that's gonna affect the CMA. Because if all the neighbors did the roof and the brand new roof, and your guy gonna try to sell the house, did not fix the roof, did not replace, it's gonna create an issue on the CMA. Okay? So you need to adjust for that. Let's say, oh, the CMA did for you, because all your neighbors put a new roof. So it's $700,000, but you did not. So probably need to take that, drop like 15 to 20,000. Okay? Well, talking about the roof, a lot of people, they do outside without the permit, that's an issue when you're gonna do the loan. So you guys know that, right? So when you see that, oh yeah, I did for 10,000, but I hired my handyman to do it and, they have the permit. No. You can still list the property and see if the bank is gonna take when the buyer comes, but most of the time, like 80% of the time, it's gonna be an issue with the land. But when you get there, we figure it out.
I think IMAP is good because you can see, sometimes you can see if there are some information about when was the last permit and what kind of, yeah, have you seen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can pull the permit. We can also pull the permit from the county, but that's not our job to take care of that. This is title to take care of the appraisal.
Because sometimes you are comparing something,
Yeah.
and it's good to check, oh, some people, they say, oh, it's a new roof.
Yeah.
2019 roof. And you can check if it's, if yours or the others that you are comparing are, they have the same, because you can see and all the properties, but you can read, and sometimes they don't put this information in.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, but you can find out you can ask the seller about that, but don't worry about it if it doesn't say something. It's gonna show up eventually because, I have a joke that I always say, so buyers are liars, sellers are too. So we have to believe whatever they say, but when you find something wrong, ask and explain why it's gonna be an issue, because they always try to hide, but here's gonna show. You can't hide anything. Okay. Yeah, this is saying about view, if it's gonna be in a corner, proximity to school, of course, every time it's closer to a school and there's a nice district, it's a nice area, the house gonna work more. So that's, you guys know that, so, okay, talk about much further. Side of the lot. One thing that a lot of builders, they do, that many appraisals don't consider, is, view of the lot. They say that, when you buy a property with a nice lot, with a nice view, the builders sell that as a better location.
Premium lot.
Of the premium lot. But when an appraiser is gonna do it, they don't care much if it's not a superior area or something. Like you're buying a lot where the repairing rights of kind of a boat is one thing. But you have a small retention pond. The builder can sell some, I see people to selling for $50,000 more because of the pond. Sometimes it's dry. But the appraisal, when it comes, most of the time, right? So when the appraisal comes, they say, oh, but I paid $50,000 more for this beautiful dry pond. I say, yeah, good for you. But my house worth more because of that. Not really. Not really. We perceive the value from that, but not the appraisal. So everybody's paying to see the view, the appraiser is going to consider. It's like the pool, the same idea. Okay? So be careful with that because of the view. Sometimes it doesn't mean it's gonna be view, it's gonna make the house worth way more because of that. Right? But the builders, they can pull that off and people buy and pay.
Advantage is that you don't have any neighbor on that.
Yeah,
That's
pretty much any upgrade you're gonna do, include the view or upgrade inside the house, is for your own benefit. So that's why you need to be very careful when you're doing upgrades and everything. That's for your clients and yourselves. Okay, we talk about the buyer's seller market right now. Everybody agrees we're in balance going towards buyer's market in most of the regions, right? Most of the countries in some belts below, everybody's like that. Up north is still holding. That's normal. They tend to hold better than here, a little bit longer. Okay? Working with you guys, buyer markets and sellers markets, they're different in the time frame they're gonna last. Usually buyer markets, they last about 2 to 3 years. And seller market tend to last longer. The last seller market started way back in 2012. So it lasts almost 13 years. So sellers market tend to last longer than buyers market. Okay? The bad thing when it comes to a buyer's market, it could drop a lot, could drop a little, could drop slow. Right now it's dropping slow because it's not above. It's an adjustment on the market. So that's why it's slower. That's why you see areas dropping price more than other areas that's going. Okay, that's actually good because it's gonna help our clients to put offers. Buyers gonna come more often, especially if they drop the rates and the price keep dropping, that you guys gonna start selling more. But that's a good thing, it's not a bad thing. Okay, the bad thing for someone who just bought it and they're gonna try to sell, that's us. But in general, it's good. Okay. Well, we talk about pool, garage, extra. So every time you do an upgrade on a house, it's gonna increase a little bit, but it's not gonna increase, it's gonna increase a lot. So every time you're gonna do summer kitchen, it's a plus. It's gonna help the house to sell faster, but it doesn't mean you guys gonna get the full amount back. Whatever they spend to do a summer kitchen. So anything like a pool, if you spend 50,000 to do a very nice summer kitchen, you're gonna get 20,000 back, 25,000 back. You're not gonna get but a house, like I did a pool of mine. My house worth much more now because of the pool now. The house went up in price, not the pool. Okay? Of course, when I built the pool was 10 years ago, my pool at that time was expensive. Now it's more expensive. So it goes up with the value a little bit in the house. When you're gonna sell the house, every time you do a nice upgrade, it's gonna help you to be above everybody else. That helps when you sell the house. But most of the time it's for you to enjoy, not to increase the value in total of the house. Right? Right. I spoke about this one already. You're gonna use the MLS to see the solds, the pendings, and the active, to do the comparables to see. And the idea of the active is not to use as part of the comparables. The idea of the active is just to find out how long the house is sitting on the market. Okay? It's not sold until it's sold. It's another misconception about sellers because they see, that's another important thing to talk. How many properties do we need to do to adjust the price? Sold. To find the price. How many properties? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Three. Exactly. Minimum 3. So it doesn't matter if you have 2 homes, like his sold for $700,000, but one sold for $1 million, and he's going to sell exactly the same house. I don't want $1 million on the house. But why? We have like 3 or 4 and 4 that sold for 700. But I saw one that sold for $1 million. Now mine worth $1 million. No. It's going to be the average for everything they sold. So if they sold 5 for 700,000 and 1 for $1 million, you're gonna add 5 plus 1 million, you're gonna divide by 6. Right? That's the way you do CMA. You add everything that's very similar and divide by the number of properties you're adding. I'm gonna give you the average. With the average, you're gonna see, well, the average is 700, but 700 is taking 5 months to sell. So it's not 700, it's less. Okay, it's going towards the buyer's market, so we need to drop the price a little bit. And don't be afraid to tell the client, because if you drop and go to a safe zone that's good, you're gonna get more offers. So don't worry about pricing being a little bit low. It tends to sell faster and for better price, right? Yep. You agree with me, so. Yes.
Is dollar per square foot more important or the averages?
Dollar per square foot or the average. What I do, I find the average and I multiply for the price per square foot. That's what I do. So
Then you go back and check the
Average for.
yeah, then when I find it. That's the way I do it. Another thing, I do one way. Let's say Stephanie, she does another way. Mario does another way. Mauro, he does a lot of things, by the way. He pulls everything in county and just missing the average for the whole country. He does everything else. So it doesn't matter the way you do it, as long as you do it the right way.
Which is your way, right?
No. You're right. You do it the right way, stick my right number. That's it. So there's different ways you can do it. And I follow this way. I do the MLS. I know people, they do the RPR first, then they do the MLS later. Or they go to the county record and proof for the counting. That's fine too. It takes longer, but it works the same way. So it doesn't matter how long you find the right number.
adjust RPR though.
You can still adjust the RPR. I'm gonna show you that now. Yeah, it's doable, but the RPR, don't trust the RPR as a final word because it got like 5 times the right way. It doesn't mean the 6 times gonna be.
What, the only reason I like RPR is because
It does a nice CMA presentation.
that too, but it includes other boards.
It does.
And it includes if there's a property that's sold and there was no realtors involved, like a physical.
IMAP does the same thing.
IMAP does?
Does. Because they pull from the county. And you're gonna find out if it was released on MLS or not because they put an R next to the comparables. So if there's no R, then something was sold without being in the MLS. So, by the way, you have to compare everything, not only whatever is in MLS. Right? So we can use MLS to see whatever is sold there, but you can also use the county to see what's sold in the county. And most of the time it's gonna be in MLS anyway, but always take a look in the county. That's why I use IMAP first. Because the IMAP can see everything. Sometimes it's right on, sometimes it's way off. All right. Right. Yeah, this is what I spoke with them. Trying to compare properties way far on different neighborhoods. This is really complicated. It works on the brand new homes when you're going to try to compare something similar, but it always needs to be apple to apple, not apple to oranges. If you go far away and try to compare College Park to Hunters Creek, not gonna work. Okay, because it's the location. Always try to be within the location. And College Park is complicated. Sometimes you get a really old house that doesn't worth much, but it's too expensive. Then you go to do remodeling, they do a flip and worth millions. So College Park is tricky to get the right numbers sometimes. Okay, yeah, don't add incentives or concessions in it when they sell. Don't use that when you're going to do the comparables. And don't use really old. Yeah, they used to use up to 6 months. More than 6 has to be like I have a situation I had to do a CMA for a property and the community didn't sell anything for the past 2 years. So that gets really complicated because 2 years ago it was really hot. Then you need to use common sense and see what else nearby is selling the same age with the same community. Like say you're comparing Winter Garden with Windermere, the new area. But it has to be, yeah, you have to use the radius, but you have to be careful not to fall inside a community that's really upscale. So you can try to find a comparator that's near something that looks very similar. The same age it was built. Otherwise it's gonna be off too.
So what do you think is more important? Is it the range or how far back in time you go?
Good question. It
Depends. It's gonna be in the range.
Isn't it private market? If you're in a buyer seller.
Yes.
You have to. If you're in a buyer seller, it will be more important to.
Eu considero um
Por favor, depois alguém faz o translate para mim, mais no inglês para todo mundo. Mas olha só, quando a gente está analisando algo com muitas variáveis, e é isso que a gente está analisando para tentar tomar uma decisão com algo que tem muitas variáveis, ok? Até aí tudo bem? Ou não?
Sim.
É isso que a gente está fazendo.
Hello?
A gente está tentando tomar uma decisão em relação a uma coisa, e essa coisa tem muitas variáveis. Vira e mexe, o Edgar pensa assim, qual é a variável mais importante que influencia as outras variáveis? Vamos lá. Existem variáveis que são mais rígidas e variáveis que são mais flexíveis. A gente não tem uma resposta pronta, porque a cada um dos fatores, essas variáveis podem se tornar fixas ou flexíveis. Então, quando vocês analisarem o todo, o importante é quais são todas as variáveis envolvidas. E a percepção do comprador ou do vendedor pode, inclusive, flexibilizar essas variáveis. Tem algumas que são absolutas, outras são flexíveis a partir da negociação. Se todo mundo usar o CMA com a visão de que eu tenho uma visão geral e eu posso negociar a venda e a compra da casa com base em dados que podem ganhar ou perder importância no momento da negociação. Mas o importante é ter consciência de todas as variáveis envolvidas. Se você listar as variáveis e entender cada uma delas, e aí sim procurar nos sistemas, você vai conseguir graduar essas variáveis de maneira mais assertiva.
Muito obrigado pela explicação, agradeço. Was explaining, yeah, talking in English because we have speak English, but it's fine. We was talking about the variables and everything else, reinforcing whatever I told you guys already, so, but thank you, I appreciate it. Very nice. So, this is about the presentation. You have to, like I told you guys, you need to do a presentation showing the data and everything for the clients. All right, don't just talk with the client or over the phone, try to convince them. Go and meet, see the house. It's a good excuse. You need to go to the house to take a look and make sure the house is good. See whatever needs to be done. I went to a house once, that was before the pandemic. I went to a house in Dr. Phillips. I met a couple, really nice Americans, and was in the kitchen and saying, my kitchen is lovely. I have this kitchen since I bought the house. It was in 1975. Yeah, and so they have to say, yeah, it's so nice.
It was,
Yeah,
was so nice.
she has all the Spanish style, barrel color like brown, the whole house. Everything was dark. It was nice for 4 years ago. But how are you gonna explain to a lady that love the house? You're gonna kind of say, oh, yeah, I can say the kitchen sucks. Oh, this kitchen is horrible. What about this flooring? Ugh. You cannot say, they're gonna tell, okay, thank you for visiting, can go on. So I have to be nice. Yeah, it's really nice. People do like it. The market's changing a little bit. People are doing upgrades in the kitchen, but let's see how much you can sell this house. Wow, the kitchen is vintage.
Nice way to say that.
Don't say outdated. Okay. I have agents that go to and see like a lot of photos of the property. When you list a property, we're gonna do another class for this one. But when you see a lot of pictures on the wall, people think, oh, people are gonna come to my house and see all the pictures of my granddaughter, my grandsons, my graduations. Nobody cares about it. Actually, people that want to buy a house, they're not gonna see who's living in the house. So I have to remove everything. So that's the kind of thing you're gonna see when you're gonna list the house. I have to ask them, remove the pictures and everything else. It's gonna look clean, do a nice, presentation, their clothes and everything, take care of the garden. So once everything is vintage in the house, it's hard a little bit to convince them that it's not gonna work the same thing. Like the neighbor, they did a full remodel of the kitchen. They replaced the whole kitchen. Okay, that you can adjust in your RPR actually. So you can use the system, can do it by itself. That's pretty cool. You put like a kitchen, how much you spend? $50,000 when you did it. Then they're gonna adjust, it's not gonna give you $50,000 back, but probably gonna adjust 30,000 out. You can use that term to do that. But when it's vintage, you cannot do anything. Okay, yeah, and always try to create urgency when you talk to the seller. That's why they put this one here, because you have to explain how the market goes. If you guys just gonna try to test the market, the seller, when you talk with them, let's say, okay, my house is worth 700, but I want 800. Well, I'm here to help to sell the house. So why you're selling the house? I have to find out the reason. You're gonna buy a new one, you're moving out of the state, or just gonna try to test the market. If you're gonna try to test the market, it's gonna be a waste of time for you. Because a lot of people, they put in the market and you have to explain. Every time you put in the market, it's gonna take into the system. It's gonna be there forever. Like the question I'm asking, for 1 day, it's already in zero. And when you go back, even if you remove the house and market for 1 day, you go back in 10 years from now, you're gonna say that you listed for 1 day. So it's gonna be there forever. So testing it is not a good idea because everybody has public access now. They can see for how long the house is sitting in the market. So they go back and say, oh, this house is brand new in the market. Then they click the arrow down and say, well, this house has been in the market for 1,000 days. Why is that? Is something wrong with the house? Maybe the roof is bad. Maybe it has a leak. Sinkhole. Oh my God, I'm not gonna see this house anymore. Done. Over. That's one of the reasons why the house is sitting on the market for more than 60 to 90 days. It becomes a turnoff. Okay, because we're gonna say, well, it's sitting there for 90 days not selling, something is wrong with the house. You're gonna see the best time to sell a house is within the first week. First week to second week. That's the best time frame. So if you price right.
What is the best time frame?
1 to 2 weeks. Because if you price wrong, nobody's gonna show for you 2 weeks. That's gonna be 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. Nobody wants to see the house anymore. Oh, but my seller decided to drop the price 100,000. Maybe it's not even enough in that one. then what's gonna happen? The neighbor's gonna list the same house with the same square footage, but with the right price. It's gonna sell in 15 days. Then the seller's gonna call, Marty, what are you doing with me? My neighbor just sold the house. He dropped the price 100,000. Now mine's cheaper now. Yeah, but it took 6 months. Now nobody's seeing the house. The system doesn't pull the house anymore. It drops in the system. It doesn't go to the top. When the list of house, it goes to the top.
Listing Metro West. We start there, let's put like 640 something to sell fast. Want some more, 669. Say like a month, no showing. Month and a half, one showing, they need to sell the house. Oh,
Now they need to
620.
strong.
Why would they put?
So that's why I need to be really strong when you talk with the seller at the beginning, right? Show the numbers, explain them to work. I say, I'm here to do a job. That's my job. I don't sell homes. It's a service. My service is knowledge. And my broker has a lot of knowledge. I'm here to help you sell for the best price possible. And I want your house in on the market. Because even if you take the house outside the market, it happened with you, right? And got a warning, but that was not his fault. So the thing happened when they take the listing out and they list with the same broker with a new MLS number, it's illegal because they're trying to reset the timer. So you can't. If you need to do that, you need to take
You
it
have to
down.
wait 60 days.
60 days. Okay, even if it goes to another broker, the CDOM, it's still gonna count. The AON, the first one gonna start from zero from a different broker. So there's no way to hide. So that's why it's very, very important to list the right price. And this is one of the things that I tell my sellers when I'm gonna list the product. I show them that. And I show them, listen, this house is in the market for this long, they dropped the price so many times, now it's gonna be even harder to sell. So usually when that happens, they need to sell below the actual value of the house now. Otherwise it's gonna get set. Oh, so I take the house out and I wait another 3 months to list it. You're gonna be the same issue. If the price is going to come out. Right? All right, so let me show this one here for you guys. I think you need to advocate. The big people are advocating. Because they're recording this. É, eu preciso colocar o MLS. Você que tá recording daí. Deixa eu ver se eu pôr porque você tá gravando. Não sei se o pessoal que tá assistindo a gente não tá vendo, a gente espera que sim.
Share.
Okay. Is that share?
Yes.
Okay, I always like to start with this one. You guys know this is my favorite one, right? So new listings, 7 days, 6,987. Price increase. Crazy people. 800.
Crazy people.
Price decrease, 10,920. So back in the market, 1,926. So right now we have about almost 18,000 homes listed on the central area. Important, okay? But Allen, you sold 4,594 and you have 6,336 pending. Pending doesn't mean it's gonna close. Most of it will close. But it's not gonna close anything. So if you add both, the sold and the pendings, you're gonna see the numbers way lower than what is it available in the market, about 7,000 profit. That's why it's pulling for your price mark. Okay? So it's a good thing you can show to the seller as well. These are real live numbers.
The canceled means listings that were canceled?
Yes, correct. This is people that say, I'm not gonna drop. I want $800,000 my house, not 700. But 700 is not gonna sell, so take it out. I'm gonna wait until December. December is gonna be bad, which won't. That's all. So you can always bring that. A lot of sellers, they think, I'm gonna wait another 3 months, the market's gonna go up again.
So,
That's not so.
expired, how do you get access to expired? You just click on that and.
Yeah, you can sell the expires, then you have to reverse. I'm gonna try to call people when it expires to list with you.
Full code for 15 years, I think.
Yeah, that works. A lot of agents, they do that. They call expired listings to try to get a listing. That's why I tell you guys, don't let it go to expire. It's better to withdraw 1 day before. Okay, because if you go to expire, the agents, they do expiring lists a lot. And they're gonna call your clients. And they're gonna tell you suck. This one,
It is, yeah, it is over him for
always. I'm gonna tell them, no, your area is not good, that's why you didn't sell. Your house is amazing. I'll get it sold. I'll get it sold in 2 weeks.
I need it's a piece of crap.
Okay, and I'm gonna sell that. But they will try, so they don't care.
One of my listings, they were, even when I put temporary off market, and they were calling
Oh, yeah.
and they were saying, oh, why are you guys temporary, Diego and Lisa? And they were calling and asking questions about why are you guys fixing this? And then they were calling trying to take the listing, even though it was still under contract.
And then I pulled their credit, and then every lender under the sun called them.
See, yeah, that helps, yeah, it helps a lot, right? People call like crazy. So that's why you guys need to do a very good job. Okay, let's do this one. See, it's listed for 750. The RVM is 752. Okay. I already did the same on this one, it's correct. The price is fine. Has a pool. So what I want to show to you guys is this. You can go down and refine the value. Right? Let me show you something. So I put 4 bedrooms here, showing 28 plus. Look what's gonna happen here. You can put 3. See? It went up. I took 1 bedroom, it went up. Okay? Let's do the same thing the opposite. How much you think, man? How much do you guys think it's gonna go? Up or down?
Down.
Down.
For the same square footage.
Got the idea? So I like to show you this guy because many people they think if I add a bedroom, I'm gonna increase the price. No.
It's like one of those houses that when you get in, so it looks like a booth instead of
Yes.
a bedroom, like a small.
It's not attractive. That's why.
2 by 2 bedroom.
Because I think you're adding more bedrooms. Why is not the price not going up? Because the bedroom's gonna be smaller, the closet is gonna be smaller, the living space is gonna be smaller, the kitchen's gonna be smaller, the living room's gonna be smaller, the bathroom's gonna be smaller. It's not attractive. It's like buying a 6-bedroom house with a 1 bathroom.
How much impact does lot size have on that sort of situation?
The lot size depends on the location. If it's like I work on Dr. Phillips, a lot. If it's in Pine Hills, nothing. You can have a huge lot in Pine Hills, they don't care. It's gonna sell fast.
If you have a house, 18 square foot. And you add 150, but you keep the same 3 bedroom. So the price will raise based on just what is in there.
Yeah. But bathroom is different as well. If you add more bathrooms, it's gonna price to
No,
increase.
it's gonna be living.
The living? Yeah, it's gonna increase.
Living and bathroom.
If you do this, let's say here's showing 6,400, let's say the house actually has 6,600. Okay? It didn't change anything. It should, but it didn't. Come on. Let me see how it goes. That's for you. You should go up.
12,000.
Oh, that's lot size. See? That's our question. Here we go. See, the lot size didn't do anything.
But what if you get 12,000? What if?
12,000 a lot?
Yeah,
That's it.
I'm just curious. Oh, that sucks.
Nothing.
Wow.
So I have, I did an expired listing in my neighborhood, and I sat down, me and Giovanna sat down with a guy. And he's got his house, he started like 575, right down to 549. Well, he's got the biggest lot in the whole area, it's like almost an acre. So I have like a third of an acre, but his is like
That's a plus most people gonna buy. We
Right.
break value on that.
right. So
But it doesn't mean that value is right.
here, if you went up to an acre, it still wouldn't budge.
No. No. That's
Can you put
usually
an
lots.
Can you put an acre just for shits and gigs?
You can put whatever you want, it's not gonna change
You
anything.
don't, even at an acre, it won't change.
Was it 40,000?
In mine, let's see. Nope.
Wow.
So the thing is, that's each wooden lots. Maybe you saw that before. Probably since you do a lot of tax data, did you see the price on the lots back in the 80s? Sometimes they're selling for $35,000, all of a sudden they sold for 5,000. That's the reason why. Because in lots, if you don't develop the land, the guys had that in core law when we took the licenses. If the lot is not improved, sometimes there's no value.
But if a lot already has something built on it, usually.
Then pretty bad.
I mean, he's probably knows better than any of us. If there's a house already built on a lot, do you still have to do impact fees?
Okay.
You would still have to do additional impact fees if you build another house on the same lot?
Yeah.
Is it more than what it typically is or the same? or-
No, it's the same.
It's the same. So I have an acre, I built a 3,000 square foot house on there, and I wanna add another 2,000 square foot house. I will still have to pay the same amount of impact fees that I paid originally for the first one. Oh, wow. Okay.
Very good.
Did you guys see that we are gonna be able to build tiny homes in Orange County? It
Really?
was just approved, yeah,
Nice.
like in-laws or whatever, yeah.
So
just
for
approved.
those ADUs, if you still have to, does the zoning still have to be, ADUs are approved even with R1, right?
R1 is just one, so they need to take R1 to a multifamily, has to be probably R2 or R3 or something like that. I don't think R1's gonna take that.
Okay, yeah, 'cause I was,
Variance.
that's what I was reading, so I was confused on it, on the, they just passed that, the stuff with the tiny house stuff.
But it's just certain areas of Orange
Yeah.
County, yeah. But still, some affordable housing, I guess.
As for this way. Okay, I add a bathroom. Well. Okay, so bathrooms are good, bathrooms no. So, one bedroom and 5 bathroom duplex is gonna work more.
And 3 bedrooms and 1 office.
Well, the office is not gonna pay more, yeah.
No.
So that's the idea of using this, and you can adjust here as well, okay? So let's say the home exterior condition is better than the other ones, that's gonna increase the price. If the home interior is way better than everybody else, like you did a full kitchen remodel, it's gonna go up more, see? Lot size here is gonna be something that probably gonna change a little bit, see? Maybe you can do here.
You can do it on down like this.
You can adjust here, see, lot size, but that's a perception of value for a client's gonna buy, but not on the square footage for the appraisal, but you can adjust here, see? Like in your case. So it change a little bit. Okay? View is the same thing like lot size. It's gonna help the perception of the buyer, but it's not something the appraiser is gonna actually take consideration depending on the area. But if you guys ready to buy and buy because of the view, that's fine. If the appraisal comes 800,000, but you want 900 because of the view, you guys willing to buy that, that's fine.
Though, one appraiser told me if the house is too nice compared to the whole area, they don't even consider anything. They'll put
Correct.
that the house is like above the condition
correct.
of everything around.
That's why at the beginning I told you, have to be very careful when you do appraisal now. Because they're not gonna get it back. So it doesn't matter if your all homes are like middle class homes, and then do your like a mansion, you're gonna lose all the money.
That's the name, right?
Correct.
Yes, when you build a house that is not appropriate for the area, or if you do the pool, not for the area.
Correct. Privacy always increase a little bit in price too.
And home exterior, when you have a extension in your patio and put some screen, not a pool, but only a.
Is this one porch?
Yeah. It's
Mm.
something better because it's bigger than the regular.
It's gonna help a little bit, but it's not a livable area, it's not increasing the square footage of the house. You're just doing a nicer. Okay. So it helps a little bit, but it's not something to increase, wow. We spend $100,000 doing this nice value, you're probably gonna get $20,000 back.
When you do, it's.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, so this is one way to do it, but another one I like using the IMAP, everybody asking, this is the IMAP, okay? The IMAP tax record, this is gonna pull all the tax records, because the RPR and the co-op, they try to project the price is gonna sell. The IMAP usually compares that was sold, but more realistic. Okay, so the RPR always try to project something. You're gonna see sometimes the IMAP's not gonna show anything. But the RPR does, because it's projecting how much the house is gonna sell in the future. So that's why the RPRs have to be a little bit careful with it. And Zillow does the same. And Zillow's getting smarter because they use an AI called Einstein something that I learned doing my Fort Miami. And they do it like this. If you list the property for 700, this is gonna say 700. If you drop 10,000, Zillow's gonna drop 12. If you drop another 10, it'll drop 20. Because it's saying that, well, the seller's saying the house is worth less, so probably it's gonna worth even less. So it keeps dropping more and more and more and more. The more you drop the house on the MLS, it's gonna increase the drop in Zillow. Right? But that's another thing that sellers need to know. Just like the wrong price, drop, Zillow's gonna drop even more. And guess which system the buyer is gonna look when it's gonna see the property? Zillow. Okay, and then by the way, Zillow is not called, it's not called estimate, it's called Zestimate. They got sued, but they're calling that an estimate. And Harry sued them, now they call it Zestimate. That's beautiful. All right, so this is the one I like to use most of the time because it shows here. This house probably is gonna sell close to this number, probably in the 700s. You could sell a little bit more, it could because of the pool, right? This is not using the pool. So the house is around 750, you guys are probably gonna sell around 730, 7 something, right? It's not far off. How are we gonna make sure this price is correct? You can use the comparables. This is gonna show whatever sold, see, 0. But why is pulling that? Because it's estimated. Okay? And sometimes this is not gonna show anything, see, 2 miles, same thing. It has property that's sold there, but it shows 0. And this is one of the systems I like to use. That's why you cannot trust everything in the system, okay? That's why I want to put this.
So you always recommend starting with IMAP, right?
I like that map because it gets really close to the price it's gonna sell, right? So if you're gonna do, let's see, okay, the criteria here. Show here. So that was sold right there. There's nothing similar in the past 6 months, so I have to go higher. I know it takes time to get, but I like to, train you really good on this so we can have a better grip. See, almost 3,000 sold for 600. That's why the IMAP is giving a little bit lower because it's pulling way back. So don't trust the systems all the time. That's why. Okay, let's use another one so we can take a look. The numbers change a lot. Yeah, this is what I was using. Another one that can use is called the co-op. Oh, by the way, if you do the numbers and you do all 3 AVMs that we can use, and the numbers are all very similar, you got the right number. Okay? So it's much easier for validate. That's why I use the automated systems. Yeah, it's really small. But see, 756. The RPR gave us 756, and the IMAP gave us 669, right? So if you add all 3, divide by 3, probably gonna get you 730. That's the price of this load's gonna sell the house. Did they do that before? No. Because I know they have it. I know the house gonna sell for 730. Right? So that's why you guys need to learn with time how to do it. It takes time. So, but then you can use this to validate. That's it. That's the idea I gave him. I don't want you guys just using this and saying, oh no, this one is right because it was right 3 times in a row. I'm not gonna use this for all my clients. At one point, this one's gonna be wrong. Or you're gonna over-evaluate or you're gonna under-evaluate. If you under-evaluate, you're never gonna call again from down. So they, you don't know what you're doing. If you over-evaluate, you're gonna list the house with you. I said, oh, this agent is good. Everybody's saying it's gonna sell for 500 and she's saying 750. I want her. then it's not gonna sell. It's gonna stay in the market. But that's why it's very important. You have to analyze, understand the market, understand the condominium, understand the area, and do the homework. When you do all three, then you guys give me a call, we can help you to make sure so. Okay, with time, when you get a good grip, you're not gonna call me anymore. You know what I'm saying? But I'm always available to answer questions about this, okay? I know it's a little bit complicated, it's not an exact science since I told you at the beginning, you need to learn how to do it little by little. I'm always doing that a lot, and most of the time it's getting the right numbers. Okay? The more you play with the numbers, the more you're gonna learn. Right, I guess that's it. You guys have questions? You're late. You have one question.
Raise the price of the house or no?
No.
If they're paid off, they can.
Yeah.
If they all they can,
If they are paid off.
but many they're not gonna go for it. If it is paid off, they will take it, but they're not gonna increase the price.
So
much.
we had a deal where it wasn't appraising and, we told the appraiser like, hey, we're marking this off as paid off at closing. And they added the value of the panels onto the appraisal to increase the
Full
value.
amounts?
I don't know if it was the full amount, but it did increase the value based on
Increase a little
what
bit.
he felt the value of the panels was.
With the brigade and everything.
Let's just call it, it was my brother's file, it was like 30 grand, that it added in value. Only because they marked it off as
Yeah.
closed at, paid at close.
It's paid off. It's like adding something in the house. Then in someone's kitchen item was.
Yeah, if not, it doesn't help. Usually I have to, like on the lending side, I have to make sure the person qualifies with that debt in conjunction with whatever other debts they have.
Okay, yes, sir.
So this goes to the next part. So,
Depends on the value of the appraisal.
so this goes, what he just said goes to the next question that I have. When we have an appraisal for a client. Because all of this is guessing, but at the end of the day, the appraisal is really the king of the whole transaction. How do you recommend we present? Because I've talked to appraisers where I'll show up and I'll tell them, hey, I just want you to know, this is the CMA I did. Here's the listings, or here's the comps I chose,
Okay,
and here's why I felt I justified this price. And then I'll mention the upgrades, I'll mention stuff,
you can.
and I'll give them, say, hey, here's why I did this. I know when I've done that, most of the times the appraisers have picked the same comps I picked and kind of went with my.
You can.
But is there something that you recommend that we do? Because I've had situations that didn't go my way and we had to go back and it was a huge headache to try to get it fixed later. So is there something you recommend for us as far as the appraisal goes to prepare, or in using this, like if we present these things, like what's the smartest way to present?
If you are 100% sure, say 99% sure on the CMA, and you're pretty close to the numbers, you're confident on it, and you have the contact for the appraiser, can you call them and talk to them about the CMA and send it over? Yes, you can. Usually it's better to do it at the beginning than later, because some appraisers, probably guys know that, but for them to adjust later is more complicated because they need to justify why did they do it wrong the first time.
Right.
So that's really bad on them. But when they get at the beginning, some appraiser gonna call you and say, hey, listen, I'm trying to get this contract. Do you have any comps to help me, because I was looking and I couldn't find anything? If you have anything that can help me because I can't get this price, then yes, but most appraisers are not gonna call you. They're just gonna shoot it over whatever they found, and that's it. You can approach them, but always be nice with them, because it's not a given right for us to try to teach the appraiser how to do the job. So they're supposed to know how to do it. So they have classes and training every day of the week on this. So if they are willing to listen to you, yeah, go for it. You can do it, but you do it at the beginning. Don't try to do it after. You can always try to do it after, but then you need to go to the supervisor, they need to have another signature in the file. Then the bank's gonna ask why. It looks bad on them. So they cannot adjust after they do it, unless it's really, really bad mistake they do. And most of the time they won't do anything, but at the beginning, yes. Sometimes they will take it, sometimes they won't. Especially if you pick the wrong house. They won't do it. But yeah, that one. Any other questions? Good.
Last time, the last one that I showed. How can I make it easier to find? If I have a house in a condo 1994, 95. It's not a brand new one. And I want to see the limits just to find the best comparables.
Mhm.
Is there a way to,
I use IMAP for that.
yeah,
You use IMAP and you put how many miles you want to go around the circle.
but if, sometimes it's not something regular. You have to.
Yeah, but then I'm trying to do by zip code or by county.
Oh, but zip code, Winter Garden, everything is 3477.
That's why I do a circle. Because sometimes they need to pull outside. It doesn't matter, it doesn't need to be exactly the same zip code sometimes. As long as it's dual for comparable. Okay, so it can go out a little
But
bit.
it's tricky because
It is tricky.
when you see the properties, if you have two different condos, it's totally different, the price too.
It could,
Yeah, totally different. So-
especially if the one was done in 2000,
Bill,
the other one is 2020.
Right? You can use the polygon
Yeah.
instead of,
You can use that.
Is there a way to?
But that's manually then. You have to do manually pull one by one, yes.
But there is no way to find the name of the condo and
To the
have the-
neighborhood?
You can. But I mean, you can, like in
Yeah.
Millennium Park. you
Like
just put in-
Millennium Park,
yeah.
you can do.
You don't need to draw, you're just gonna put the name of the condo, it's gonna pull everything under that one.
Okay, but sometimes it's Millennium Park, phase one, phase two.
Then you have to do one by one.
phase, no
You don't put the
phase.
faces, you don't put the face on them unless, so you need to put the face. But if they do like Millennium Park, sometimes they do Millennium Park with one N or two N's, that's gonna make a difference. But then you need to learn. How you gonna find out? What is it called? And see what is available on the place. You're gonna see the different names they use. Then you need to pull one by one and compare one by one. Okay, or try to pin one house and do a circle. That's another way to do it.
Yeah.
But you can do a polygon and everything, like you said, like a triangle, whatever you wanna do. You can design, yes. I did that for the Story Lake, because it has two phases. I mean, it has two sides. One side is short term, another one is long term. But the system doesn't know that. So what I did one and I saved it only for the area that's for the short term one. I designed. So it pulls exactly that one all the time. I did that on the CRM we use on the old one. The one is gone now. But I did already available for everybody in the office. It takes time. But it's gonna be more precise, especially when it's a place like that. Yeah. That's it? Good. All right. So thanks, guys. If you have any questions, you know my number. Just text me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, guys.
So, grown,